Capital R Romantic by Stars in a Jam Jar on AO3. Episode 5, Chapter 5, Thursday. Hitoshi woke up to Midoriya wrapped around his arm again, just like Wednesday night, and he had to force himself to keep his eyes on the ceiling. He heard the hotel shower going, so presumably either Tokoyami or Ojiro were up. Probably Ojiro. He took a deep breath and carefully sat up. The sun was barely peeking up, or at least he assumed it was, judging by the color of the light streaming in from the curtains. It painted gold-orange lines across the surface of the room, revealing floating dust specks in the air. Invisible sleeping cobwebs stuck to Hitoshi's skin as he stared blankly at the glittering sunbeams. His arm had slipped most of the way out of Midoriya's grasp, and the other boy didn't stir. He was surprised he slept so soundly, enough for Midoriya to attach himself to his arm in the night without Hitoshi noticing, apparently. But he probably should have expected it with all the chaos that had happened yesterday, especially when his legs felt a tad like jelly for when he... Had he passed out doing the splits? Hitoshi felt his entire face go fiery engine red as the events right before he had fallen asleep came crashing into his memory. It wasn't even dinner yet, and he'd been half asleep. But he's also been utilizing Harlequin's advice on selecting what you put your energy into before visualizing, considering and amplifying it, so he'd be certain he would be fine. At the time, his choice of energy distribution had been, don't fall over, and hear what's going on around you. And he'd been too exhausted to be flustered over Midoriya's hand on his waist. Now, however, he couldn't get how adorably awkward the other boy had been out of his mind, and how he fumbled over his words trying to figure out how to go about this, and how warm his hands were, and how Hitoshi really should have expected them to feel as strong as they were, but still being surprised when Midoriya's was spotting him, and also how at one point he could swear he heard him say something about Hitoshi being squishy in a similar tone to how he said Hitoshi had too many pretty words. And then there was the fact that he'd just been so damn close. The door to the bathroom opened, and Hitoshi's gaze snapped over as Ojiro strolled out in what Hitoshi had to assume he'd been wearing to school today, drying off his hair. "Hey, you're up early," he said. "You finally got some real sleep, it looks like." Yeah." Hitoshi nodded, wanting to ignore the embarrassment of knowing Ojiro had probably had to help dragging his unconscious body onto bed. Ojiro's eyes drifted down to Midoriya, who still had his arms wrapped around Hitoshi's waist. "I don't want to assume or anything, but did you two become a thing when I wasn't looking?" Hitoshi wondered for a moment if he blushed more over the course of this week than all his life prior combined. He wouldn't doubt it. I mean, you know how Midoriya is about contact, and the other night he'd had a nightmare, and it's just, it isn't quite what you're thinking it is. But oh god, do I wish it was. Ojiro nodded, and let his towel slide off his head around his shoulders. I actually never experienced his whole touchy-feely deal firsthand. I've always felt kind of invisible around him. It's not like he ignores me, but the closest I've been to being in, his wheelhouse is being paired with Ida for midterms. Huh. Hitoshi looked back down at Midoriya, his heart wrecked with how he looked almost unreal in the morning sun. It looked like he was made to be cast in light. It hit Hitoshi all at once that the two of them were very, very different. Weird. I don't feel like I'm in the background when he's around. I feel like I'm circling his orbit. Like I'm not floating aimlessly anymore. And you're sure the two of you aren't dating? Hitoshi realized too late what he had just said and yanked his eyes away from Midoriya's sleeping form to his free hand sitting on top of the comforter. Positive. The silence that hung in the air felt like the moment when lightning flashes, but you've yet to hear the thunder. Only less aesthetic and implicatory, and more dreadful and daunting. We have about half an hour before wake-up call, Ojiro said. You wanna work some more on your splits or something? That, yeah, that sounds good. Hitoshi, quietly and carefully, pulled himself out of bed, and Ojiro took him through some preliminary stretches, and didn't bring up last night or the new information he'd become privy to, which Hitoshi was more than grateful for. Hitoshi stared out the bus window as San Antonio floated by. He remembered Monday night. Had that really been just 4 days ago? God, this week was exhausting. When he'd wandered around the city for a few hours to try and forget how much he wanted to rip his heart out of his chest and tell it to knock it off. The experience had been novel. Everything along the Riverwalk felt labyrinth. The buildings had a strangely uneven disburial of new, and obviously built in like the 1920s or earlier, and it felt like no matter where you went, whatever was happening was a few blocks down from where you actually were. Not to mention, some alleys were thick with the smell of rancid river water and pollution. Then there was the weird gods of cultural influences just popped into seemingly random dispersal areas. The city had old America and German architecture, way too many different varieties of restaurants to name, and spoke Spanish, English, and some mix of the fluent too. He hadn't just felt lost. He felt submerged, as though to make up for the lack of length in its history, the city had created a depth and complexity for itself. In the light of day, the city had such a different energy, but he just couldn't pinpoint what it was. They were on an overpass now, and he could see the skylines of downtown San Antonio clearly against the overcast sky. Maybe it was just that he wasn't in the thick of it all anymore. He was on a school bus, chugging towards the hotel everyone was staying at. Hopefully today he wouldn't fall asleep before dinner. He had been reverous this morning. Not too talkative today, are ya? Shinsou pulled himself out of his head and turned to Kaminari sitting next to him. Guess not. Just kind of thinking about how much has happened this week. I know, right? Hitoshi knew he was about to hear a full paragraph of excited words. It's like, it feels like the time Hagakure fell in a river on Sunday. I told you about that, didn't I? It happened just before we got on the bus, but then it also feels like it happened last month. And yesterday, I nearly executed one of the band students, because they were using me as a power source for one of the amps, but I kept mixing when that happened for when we went to a What's-a-Burger. That was Monday, wasn't it? It feels like it was Monday. And I was talking about you with Midoriya, and so all of it just, all like, he made a jiggly circle motion with his hands. Since everything is all, why are words so hard? I get what you're saying. Hitoshi gave him a little half smile, trying his best to keep his minor freak out about Kaminari talking about him to Midoriya shoved in a drawer in the back of his mind. Kaminari peeked up and picked the thread right back up. Yeah, and so because we're always doing things, it makes it all go by faster. Pretty neat. What about you? You've kind of been a little weird all week. You holding up all right? What does he say? Does he tell him the truth and say his usual insomniac had kicked into overdrive since he developed a massive crush on the guy he's sleeping next to? That he was trying so hard not to think about said guy, like sugary sunshines and smile softness? That the entire theater department was full of crazy people who had some kind of power he genuinely feared? That he just wanted to go home where his dad and Aizawa and that little stray cat he took care of were, and he could have space to think without having to run into the depths of a foreign city that felt like it had the ability to swallow him whole? Well, if I'm not, my falling apart is night indestructible from my holding up, so it's all good. Kaminari laughed. Oh my god, I feel that in my bones. Why do you have to be like this? Hitoshi gave Kaminari a bittery smile, relief that something was normal and not stressful today. Sometimes that's just how it be. Kaminari laughed harder. Shinsou, stop. That sounds nothing like you. I apologize, good fellowin. Surely this dialect is more to your liking. Kaminari was doubling over, weaseling now. Stop, I can't breathe. For now, Shinsou felt settled. Kaminari's sudden burst of laughter could be heard from across the bus, and Izuku looked from the notes he'd been scribbling down for the column in the newspaper he'd be featured in, turning towards the sound. He saw Kaminari, crackling, sitting with Shinsou, towards the back. Shinsou was smiling and seemed, honestly, a lot better than he looked in the past 4 days. Maybe it's just that I have a mini crush on him. Izuku felt like the entire bus had come to a screeching halt. To be fair, it was primarily because it had. At a stoplight, just off the exit, everyone scrambled to regain their purchase from a hot second before things quickly turned to normal. Well, normal aside from the dizziest lecture of emotions and ideas and half-sentences that were swimming through Izuku's head. What is this feeling? Why is... He's not allowed... What is going on? The bus resumed motion, and Izuku was still reeling. Someone's jelly! Oh my god, someone's jealous. Someone is very, very much jealous. And you know what, Izuku? I'm with you. I would be jealous too. I wouldn't say I'm a jealous person. I mean, jealousy, it's a normal human feeling, right? It comes from insecurity. It comes from instability. It comes from trauma even. Obviously, Izuku feels jealous. This probably comes from a place of trauma, of insecurity specifically. You know, Izuku's never had anything in his life. So he very much craves validation and affection and stuff like that. So when they see that, whatever. I find these very interesting. Like, what is this feeling? It's jealousy, Izuku. It's jealousy. You are jealous. You are hurt inside because you're seeing someone you like, possibly talking to someone and being smiley, and you know that that other someone has feelings. You feel jealous in the sense of, oh, they're gonna take them away from me. Okay. He's not allowed. He's not allowed to what, Izuku? Wait, finish that sentence. Finish that sentence and you'll realize your feelings real quick. What is going on? You have feelings for your friend, Izuku. You have feelings for your friend. Admit it. You want the capital R romantic to be your boyfriend. Don't worry. The capital R romantic wants the, what was it again? Sunshine... Fluff ball of sunshine, rainbow, whatever. He wants you as your boyfriend, Izuku. Jesus fucking Christ. I think next chapter, chapter Friday is gonna be POV of Izuku realizing feelings. Shit, fuck. Fuckity fuck. Fuck. Either fuckity fuck, or, we're gonna get sweet like, oh, I like Hitoshi. Hee. I like Shinsou. It depends. Which reminds me of that one trend. The TikTok trend. The one where it shows what if when he sees me lyrics. And it mixes it with, what if when you see me, what if when he sees me, not what if. When he sees me from the musical Waitress? Is it Waitress or Waitresses? I forget if it's Waitress or Waitresses. I always forget which one of those two is. Right? Where it's like the song is playing and then there's just people screaming in the background. The what if when he sees me, I like it and he knows it. What if he opens up a door and I can't close it? And as that singing is going on, and that it's a very sweet song because it's like, it's hilarious because the song is such a high beat, kind of. It's what you would think of, oh, love song. And this person is talking about how, oh, I don't want to fall in love. I'm scared to fall in love. I'm scared to like someone, right? I don't want to like someone because once I do, I can't close that door, right? Literally, it's like, what if when he sees me, I like him and he knows it? What if he opens up the door and I can't close it? What happens then? If when he holds me, my heart is set in motion, I'm not prepared for that. I'm scared of breaking open. But still, I can't help from hoping to find someone to talk to who likes the way I am, someone who, when he sees me, wants to again. Right? It's a song of like, I am scared of relationships and going into them. I desperately, it's basically every helpless romantic who's scared to go out and actually, you know, have a love life, wanting, desiring that someone, but also being too scared to pursue because dating is scary, dude. Dating is scary. Take it as someone who's been cheated on, someone who has, I've gone through a lot. Dating is scary. Dating is scary. As much as like the inner me is like, I want to like someone. I want a love life. I don't want to get heartbroken. Anyways, right? You have that, and then you have the screaming. It's just like the. I feel like Hitoshi is the screaming. This whole time he's been screaming. You cannot tell me that he's the embodiment of no. No, I cannot have feelings for this. No, no, massive crush. Put it down. Nope. He's literally been suppressing his crush. You cannot tell me. And I feel like Izuku is going to be the what if. The what if when he sees me, right? Kind of scared, right? Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be like, oh, I like him so much. Jeez, yay, just yay. No, it's going to be like oh, shit, I like him. I really like him. I want to hold hands and stuff, but like, fuck. I opened up a door and I can't close it now and now I'm scared, kind of like that. Sorry, I went into a whole analysis on the TikTok trend. I love this song. I'm going to be jamming to the song later. Hold up. I'm opening it up on my Spotify. I am opening it up on my Spotify. I've never seen Waitress. Waitress or is it Waitresses? I don't know. Somebody in the comments who likes theater, tell me. I haven't seen that musical, but I've heard some of the songs. And one of my favorite is, it's the song I can't talk. Oh my god. The song that I just talked about, which is When He Sees Me. My phone is about to die. I was like, why the fuck did I search up Little Nightmares? Okay, as I'm searching this up so I could listen to this in a second. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials is down in the description. I froze. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!